Thank you so much for tuning in to a Purpose Driven Wife channel. My name is Trista, and on today's video, I would like to react to an interview that George Janko is doing, and he's done an interview with Candance Owens, and actually the whole interview is very informative, but there's a section of it that I would like to react to, and we are going to talk about it here on this channel, and I just have some thoughts that I just wanted to share. Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. Taking it away from that, how did you resurface? Like, was it like a educational? Like, how did you in your environment get out? Right? Because if your environment is all this type of situation, how do you guide somebody that's in your footsteps out of the ecosystem to educate themselves in the proper way?
Yeah, I started reading books, not the textbooks that were handed to me, not the assigned readings. It was just a moment that made me really curious, and it was, because I very much liked culture. I knew, obviously, that Donald Trump was very well loved in culture before he ever ran for president. It was sort of a symbol of success. If you listen to rap songs or music, even Beyonce and Jay-Z sipping poolside at Mar-a-Lago, he was the symbol of success in Black America. So it was very strange to me when he ran, and I wasn't going to vote for him, when he came on the escalator, and then suddenly the media was saying he was a racist and that he was going to put Black people back in chains. I mean, the rhetoric was insane. And so that just piqued my curiosity, where I was like, okay, if this was the truth, didn't you guys just give him a show for decades? This guy has been on TV, he's been in our face. Why are you just telling us now that these are his perspectives? Why did you ever platform him? So that was just too obvious of a switch up. And I had just being curious, watched him give a live speech in Dimondale, Michigan, where he was talking about Black America, and he was basically, the pitch was, look at your communities, look at the rates of whatever's going on in your communities. Why don't you just try something new? Take a chance on me, right? The Democrats obviously haven't done anything for you. Just take a chance on me. And I remember watching it and thinking, all right, cool enough pitch. Like, I wasn't going to vote for him still, but I was like, that's a solid pitch. Just try something different.
It piques your curiosity.
Yeah, and then I watched the media report on that speech in real time. The way that they lied. He faked tears from like Black Don Lemon type people on TV. Wow. He's looking at Black and people in the face and he's saying, you're poor, your communities are this. Like, he's a racist. And that moment just changed everything for me. I realized this is full on propaganda.
So that was your turning point, was you investigating in Donald Trump's ideas?
Yeah, that was the wake up moment for me that, the media really is just actually evil, really.
It's bought.
It's bought, it's paid for. These people are actors. Suddenly I was really able to recognize the performance of it all. The fake tears, oh my God, the rhetoric. And honestly, it was very hard to go through. I always say that I suffered a bit after, because it was like having your whole world turned upside down. Like, to realize you were so wrong. Like, you have to go through a death of an ego, right? Because what if you were like, I'm not talking to you because you're a racist, blah, 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 because you believe the media hype. But it kind of shattered my world as I knew it, and I decided to kind of quietly for a year just do some studying. And, I really dove into Thomas Sowell, which he made the economic arguments. He never was left or right per se, but he definitely is a free market capitalist, and he made very sound economic arguments of how could I ever accept anything the Democrats are doing. And yeah, I just kind of went down a dark hole of reading so much Thomas Sowell, Shelby Steele, because I wanted to start with the Uncle Toms and the Coons, the people that I instantly thought were Uncle Toms and Coons, because they were Black and conservative. And joke's on me. Now that's the stuff that I get called.
That's crazy to go from fighting against them to aligning with them.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you were kind of, like dying to your old self in a sense? Yeah. Like, for that year, you left yourself behind?
Yeah, I went through I would say shock, and then I was educated, and then I was angry at how evil, to realize what the Democrats have done to Black America, how they have used the school system, how they have encouraged us to burn down our own neighborhoods via Marxist principles, and causing people to flee our neighborhoods after BLM, which I spoke out against the entire time. I was really angry because I realized it's just a modern slave plantation. You're doing all the same stuff. You're breaking down our families. You are making sure that we aren't educated. I mean, the percentage of Black boys and girls that can read in America right now is shocking, right? And you've largely gotten away with it. And then that empowered me to say, I want to be a voice and speak out against it.
How do you feel about your culture and what they do with music?
I think it's a part of it. It's a part.
I really enjoyed everything that Candance Owens talked about in this interview, and I really want to encourage you to look at the whole or listen to the whole interview because it's very informative. But one of the things that she pointed out that I 1000% agree is that, you know, once you start to realize that social media, the entertainment industry, music, you know, all those things just almost it's almost like a cycle of the same thing that you know that's being pointed out, and it's like if you don't think that way, then it's almost like, you know, you are like pushed away, almost like, what, you think that way type of thing. And she really pointed out that, you know, once you see the lies of some of these, you know, topics that are being brought up, and not just topics but different ideas that are not only being talked about in music and entertainment and social media, you know, for example, as she mentioned, the Black Lives Matter it was just a whole bunch of that was being promoted in music and social media and even in entertainment, that it was a whole lie. The whole thing was a lie. And so, you know, even in churches. And so that's why it's important for us to really dig into the scriptures and really, you know, allow God to show us the truth. And so one of the scriptures that I wanted to point out is in 2 Timothy 4, verses 3 and 4, and it says this: "For the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but have itching ears. They will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions." And then verse 4 says, "And will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths." And so one of the things that I wanted to point out too is that, yes, Paul is encouraging Timothy to preach the word. Okay, now that you're a pastor, you are, you know, I encourage you to preach the word. You know, sound doctrine is very important. And, you know, there will come a time where people will not accept the truth. And we see that here, you know, in today's churches and even in social media, as I you know, mentioned. And so I wanted to bring that up because in verse 4 it says, "And these people will turn away from listening to the truth." And so when you try to tell people, like, look at these statistics, look at these, you know, facts about what is going on here, sometimes people don't want to hear that. And so they turn away from the truth and wander off into myth and believing the false teachings of some of these pastors and false teachers that we see here today in churches. And so I just, even though that this is talking about preaching the word of God and talking about the word of God and really encouraging Timothy to do that, but at the same time, when it comes to the truth, the truth is, you know, don't you see the facts of what is actually going on? And so you don't have to react emotionally, but take a look at some of these, you know, facts or these numbers, you know, or these teachings, and let's compare it to the actual truth. And so I just really wanted to bring that up and really encourage you guys, you know, let's be open-minded and let's allow God to really dig into our hearts. And we have to really be mindful of what we're listening to, what we look at, and even, you know, some of these things that's being shown on social media. I'm really being sensitive to a lot of the things that I'm listening to and hearing. I mean, a lot of things that I'm listening to and seeing. And so I really want to equip myself and encourage others to read the word of God and allow God to, you know, fix our hearts and do a transformation in our hearts and our minds. So guys, tell me what you think about this interview with Candance Owens, and let me know what you got from it, and let's talk about it. If this is something that you guys like to see more of, please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you want to just see more interviews or just me talking about the Word of God. Let's have a discussion back and forth, okay? Let's share some thoughts and comments, okay? Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and tune to my next video. Be blessed.